I got it. Break here. Thank you, Mr. Brenner. The meeting will come to order. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our July 31st, 2025 meeting of the City of Leesburg Planning Commission. Mr. Ted, could you do the invocation, please, and we'll be followed by the pledge of allegiance.
Dear Heavenly Father, we ask that you be with us today to give us guidance as we undertake the business of the City of Leesburg. We pray that the decisions we make today will be pleasing in your sight. Pray this in thy most holy name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Miller, could you give us the rules of participation, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon and welcome everyone to the July 31, 2025 City of Leesburg Planning Commission meeting. My name is Dan Miller.
And I'm going to fix this.
Okay. We'll hold for a moment.
Sorry, sir. They just never know which one's going to work, which one's not going to play.
He worked with the Monkees. Remember the Monkees? He's worked with every rock band in the world. He knows how to do this. Thank you, Todd. Okay.
We got you now?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Todd. Okay. Welcome, everyone, to the July 31, 2025 City of Leesburg Planning Commission meeting. My name is Dan Miller, Planning and Zoning Director for the City of Leesburg. The staff present today includes Deputy Director Candy Harper, Senior Planner Max Van Allen, Planner Melissa Metters de los Santos, Executive Assistant Sabrina Mitchell, and City Attorney Jennifer Koch. Today's agenda and a speaker's registry is available on the table by the exit door. If you'd like to speak on a case, we'd ask that you please sign the speaker's registry, which is at that table, and bring one up to Sabrina, who is seated here on my left. Under the rules of participation, the meeting is conducted under the following process. The chairman will announce each case, and staff will then present exhibits for the record. This will include maps, photos, and text as shown, as you will see on the screens. Staff will then provide the case background and descriptive information and read a recommendation into the record. The applicant will have the opportunity to speak on the case. Then the public will have the opportunity to speak on the case as well. The applicant will have an opportunity to respond. The chairman will then close the case to the public and then take a vote and then call for the next case on the agenda. The Planning Commission is made of citizens appointed by the City Commission and are charged with two major functions. The first is making final decisions on cases such as variances and conditional uses. The second is to make recommendations for issues to be heard by the City Commission. The city staff provides recommendations based solely on the city's comprehensive plan, land development regulations, and state statutes. Today, there are 3 cases on the agenda, and all 3 cases are recommendations today. They are not final decisions. They will be heard by the City Commission for final decisions. The tentative dates for those City Commission hearings are listed in bold on the agenda. These dates are subject to be changed, so please check with Planning and Zoning staff or the City Clerk's office regarding final hearing dates so that you don't waste a trip. Finally, on behalf of the City of Leesburg Planning staff and the City of Leesburg Planning Commission, we'd like to thank you for your participation in today's public hearing. And thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, if there's anyone that would wish to speak today, we'd like you to be sworn in by Mr. Brino, please.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And Commissioners, have you guys read the previous minutes from the June 19th meeting? If so, I entertain a motion.
Like to call a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll second that, Mr. Chairman.
Roll call vote, Mr. Brino. Do we need roll call there?
We don't need to vote.
Okay. Sure. It has been motioned properly second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed to the same? The motion carries. Thank you. Okay. Okay, first we're going to our first case, which is old business, public hearing, case number PUD 25-586, Vista Avenue, PDO, which is Planning Development Overlay. An ordinance of the City of Leesburg, Florida, adding a planning development overlay over the existing C3 highway commercial zoning district on approximately 0.48 acres to allow for the development of 2 duplex units for properties generally located west of Vista Avenue and north of the Highway 441. As legally described in the Section 23, Township 19 South, Range 25 East, Lake County, Florida, and providing an effective date.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Under the background and overall proposal for this case, this is a request for a planned development overlay to allow for duplex dwelling units on 2 existing lots. The properties are generally located on the west side of Vista Avenue and north of US Highway 441. As the chairman stated, the zoning of this property is C3 Highway Commercial. Under the C3 Highway Commercial zoning district, a conditional use permit is required in order to construct new duplexes. Melissa Metters de los Santos, planner, will present the maps and photo exhibits today, including the aerial zoning, future and surrounding land use maps, wetlands flood zone maps, and CRA maps.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. As you can see, the extended aerial map shows the subject property in relation to the area. It is north of US Highway 441 and west of Radio Road. The next map is a closer aerial that shows the subject property is north of US Highway 441 and west of Vista Avenue. City of Leesburg zoning map shows the subject property is zoned as C3 Highway Commercial with City C3 to the east, south, and west, and residential professional to the north. Lake County zoning map shows there is R6 Urban Residential District to the north and west, RP Residential Professional, and CFD Community Facility District to the north and west. The City of Leesburg future land use map shows the subject property with general commercial in the north, east, south, and west. Lake County's future land use map shows the subject property with urban low density to the north and west. The next map shows the proposed plan development overlay on the properties. And the surrounding land uses are, to the north, single-family, multifamily, vacant residential, and medical and office. To the east, office, medical, parking lot, and vacant commercial. To the south, nonprofit, office, retail, bank, and auto repair. And to the west, medical, office, and place of worship. The flood and wetlands map shows that there are no flood zones or wetlands on the properties. The subject properties are within the 27/441 community redevelopment area. And the subject properties are in the Commission District 5. For these, since they're both on the same side of the road, I'm going to do one set because it's the same view no matter which property you're at. So the top photo shows a close-up of the sign from Vista Avenue. The bottom photo shows that it's looking north along Vista Avenue from the subject property. The top photo on this page shows that you're looking east across Vista Avenue from the subject property. And the bottom photo shows that you're looking south along Vista Avenue from the subject property. The next one shows the top photos looking west from the Vista Avenue onto subject property. And the next one is this next lot, so we're not going to do that one again. And that's all I have, Mr. Miller.
Thank you, Ms. De Los Santos. With that, we'll move to the departmental review summary. The project was sent out to all city departments, including the Lake County Government and School Board. Under city department responses, there were no substantive comments from the city departments. The school board had no comment. The reason for that is that under, I believe it's 4 units, I forget the exact number, they consider that the minimum number, so they normally do not comment on very smaller projects. Under public responses, per Florida statute and City of Leesburg Code of Ordinances, there were notice requirements. The project was legally advertised, posted, and letters sent out to the surrounding property owners. We did get one comment from the public, from a neighbor, which was answered by Melissa and then updated later by Melissa, and that information is in your packet. As a result of that comment, we did add a condition for a fence within the PDO, so I'd like to thank that neighbor for that. There were no other public comments. Moving on to the recommendation for the project, Vista Avenue Plan Development Overlay, PUD number 25-586. The request is to add a plan development overlay to the C3 Highway Commercial Zoning District to allow for 2 duplex units. And in addition, as a part of this PDO request, this would be a waiver from section 25-282, parentheses A1, which has a PDO minimum of 5 acres. And what staff has found is, to explain that, staff has found that the PDO is a very useful tool, and we shouldn't require a 5-acre minimum on this. And that will be a change that we'll be making in an upcoming request under the zoning code. So we're asking for that along with as a part of the PDO. Under the background, the 2 subject properties are approximately ½ an acre, generally located on Vista Avenue. The request would be to construct 1 duplex unit on each property. There are 2 lots. The current zoning, again, is C3 Highway Commercial, and the future land use designation is general commercial. The area is generally developed in residential uses. There's some mixed uses within this area if you go along that street on Vista Street, and then the street back to the east, back to the west. It's a mix of commercial and residential. Based on the surrounding zoning and development patterns, adding the PDO for the residential use is the most appropriate action at this time. The use of a PDO would allow an appropriate use of the sites as a duplex, avoid a potential spot zoning, and it would still meet the requirements of Section 25-269, parentheses 2, City of Leesburg Code of Ordinances, would also be consistent with the city's comprehensive plan. The Planning and Zoning Department is therefore recommending approval of the request for the following reasons. One, the request for the PDO as conditioned is compatible with the existing zoning districts and of highway commercial, which is C3. The surrounding zoning districts, including City of Leesburg C3 RP, which is residential professional, and Lake County R6, which is urban residential. Two, the future land use designation of city general commercial is compatible with the proposed request for the addition of the PDO, as well as the current surrounding future land use designations, including City of Leesburg general commercial and Lake County urban medium. Three, the addition of the PDO will allow for a residential use compatible with the surrounding land uses of the surrounding properties as conditioned in consistency with Section 25-269 of the city's code. And four, the proposed request does not appear to create a detriment to surrounding properties as conditioned based on the location and proximity to compatible development and is consistent with the City of Leesburg Comprehensive Plan, Future Land Use Element Goal 1, Objective 1.8. Therefore, the action requested is vote to approve the addition of the planned development overlay on a C3 highway commercial zoning and forward this request to the City Commission for their consideration. Mr. Chairman, staff is recommending approval, as we noted. I believe Mr. John Wanberg is here to represent the case and answer any questions you may have. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. If the applicant is present, would you like to come forward, please?
Looks like he did not make it today.
Okay.
I apologize. I believe he had must have had a scheduling conflict. It was supposed to be on last month's meeting,
Okay.
and staff discovered that we had an error in the ad, which is why it was moved
Yes, sir.
to this meeting. So I have personally spoken with Mr. Wanberg, and he is satisfied with the conditions. And Melissa, have you had any contact with
I
Mr. Wanberg?
have not, but that's probably a conflict with the schedule.
Okay.
But there are facades and stuff.
There are facades. Did we go through those? I was looking at my paper. Okay, so there are facades. Max, thank you. There's one there, and then there's some photos right there. And so if you go up and down the street, it's consistent with what's in there. And there's a mix of uses on those streets. Staff looks at this as preferable to under the commercial zoning where someone could go in and literally open a store or something like that. So, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone from the public who'd like to speak towards this? Okay. If not, any more comments, anything from the staff?
No, sir, thank you.
Yes, sir. So what we'll do, we'll close this part, close it to the public and discussion among the commissioners and discussions. Commissioners? If there's no further discussion, I entertain a motion.
Wait, I forgot. The fence.
Yes, ma'am.
Where is the fence? Because I saw briefly that you did say you were gonna put a fence there. I guess, was it to buffer the?
Yes, ma'am, due to the fact that the neighbor did make a request, and we thought it was a good idea. We normally like to have fences on these kind of projects. So it would go around the sides and the back of the property only. There's, technically, they can put one in the front yard. Those have to be shorter, but around the side, coming out from if the driveway is here, they're coming out to the side and then going around the backyard.
Okay.
We would do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? If not, I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, on public hearing case PUD 25586, Vista Ave PDO, I recommend approval.
Second. It has been motioned and properly second. Roll call voting.
Commissioner Carter,
Yes.
Commissioner Kaplan,
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly.
Yes.
Commissioner Sanders,
Yes.
Commissioner Simeon,
Yes.
Commissioner Firesaw,
Yes.
Commissioner Marshall.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. We're moving to our new business. Public hearing case number LSCP-25-547 Oak Ridge Large Scale Comprehensive Plan Amendment. Mr. Miller.
Mr. Chairman, would it be possible for us to consider the next two cases together? There is a large-scale comprehensive plan and a PUD zoning like
Yes,
we
sir.
normally do.
Of course.
Thank you, sir. The project here this is called Oak Ridge, and the project includes an annexation, large-scale comp plan, and rezoning on a site which consists of 596.28 plus or minus undeveloped acres. The property is generally located east of County Road 48 and south of the Florida Turnpike. The request is for future development of approval for the zoning of 910 attached and detached single-family residential units and associated amenities. So under the overall proposal, the total land area consists of, as previously stated, just under 600 acres. The comp plan application for the project is requesting a change in the future land use category from Lake County Rural to City of Leesburg Estate. And the zoning application for the project is requesting a change from Lake County Agriculture to City of Leesburg PUD, which is Planned Unit Development. Senior Planner Max Van Allen will present the maps and photo exhibits at this time, including the aerial zoning, future and surrounding land use, wetlands, flood zones, and CRA maps.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. The first image is an extended locator showing the subject property east of County Road 48 and southwest of the Turnpike. The aerial shows the subject property directly east of County Road 48 and south of Clearwater Lake Road. The subject property is surrounded by PUD, Planned Unit Development zoning, to the north, east, and south, and ARD, Age Restricted Development, to the west. The subject property is currently zoned Lake County A Agriculture and is surrounded by Lake County A Agriculture to the north and east, and RA Ranchette to the south. The proposed zoning is City PUD, Planned Unit Development. The surrounding future land use includes age-restricted development to the west, neighborhood mixed use to the north, south, and east, estate residential to the east and south, conservation to the north. The subject property currently has a county future land use of rural and is surrounded by rural to the north, east, west, and south. The proposed future land use is estate residential. Surrounding land uses include pasture improved hay acreage to the north, west, and south, residential to the northeast and west, timber to the south, and residential commons to the east. The property is surrounded by existing city developments, including the villages of Westlake, areas A and B to the west and southwest, Hunt property and Clearwater Reserve to the north and northeast, Banning Ranch to the southeast, Zellwood, Blake's Ridge, and Renaissance Estates to the south. There is flood zone present throughout the property, and wetlands are also present throughout the property. The property is surrounded by Commission District 3. Signs were posted. The top image is a close-up of the sign, first sign on County Road 48. The bottom image is looking north along County Road 48 from the subject property. The top image is looking east into the subject property from County Road 48 and looking south along County Road 48 from the subject property on the bottom image. The top image is looking west across County Road 48 from the subject property. The second image on this is the second parcel, close-up of the sign from County Road 48. Top image is looking north along County Road 48 from the subject property. The bottom image is looking east into the subject property from County Road 48. The top image is looking south along County Road 48 from the subject property. The bottom image is looking west across County Road 48 from the subject property. That's all I have, Mr. Miller.
Thank you, Ms. Van Allen. With that, we move to the departmental review summary. The project was sent out to all city departments plus Lake County government and the school board. The city department responses, there were no substantive comments from the city departments. The project is outside the city of Leesburg electric area. The gas department did note that the single-family detached homes, if this is approved, that they would have to have natural gas per code. Under the school board, the project will be subject to school concurrency review. Just as a reminder, a school concurrency review is a school board staff review to see if adequate student stations are present at the time of development. If they are not, the project is then subject to a mitigation agreement to provide adequate stations within the school system. So the developer does have to provide those stations, or they have to exist within the system as it sits at the time of the review, excuse me, for that project to move forward. Each of those mitigation agreements must be approved by the school board and the Leesburg City Commission. At Lake County Public Works did not have any comments. However, for the record, staff wanted to note that we are continuously communicating with Lake County on various projects, and we anticipate that this proposal, should it be approved eventually by City Commission, would have the standard comments that come from Lake County Public Works, which in regards turning lanes, additional right-of-way for roads, drainage, et cetera. Leesburg PUDs are specifically written to support Lake County Public Works in the matter of these requests. Under public responses, per Florida statute and City of Leesburg code amendments, the project was legally advertised, posted, and letters were sent out to the surrounding property owners within 200 feet. The city did not receive any written public comments. Under the PUD requirements, the proposal consists of a total of 910 single-family units split into two home types, 642 detached single-family units, and 268 villa units, which could be described as duplexes. No other uses would be permitted. Breaking these down further, for the attached units, there would be the 268 villa units. Those would be on 35-foot lots, so it's really a 70-foot lot with one building on it, with a minimum house size of 1,200 square feet on each side. For the detached units, there'll be 37 units on 70-foot lots. Those will be located on the perimeter areas with an 1,800 square foot minimum house size. 46 units would be on 60-foot lots with a 1,700 square foot house size minimum. And then 559 units, the majority of the units that are on the inside of the development, would be on 50-foot lots with a 1,500 square foot living area. And living areas are defined as under roof. There are, within the PUD, design and architectural standards, which are required and shown in the exhibits. 2 floors is the maximum height. A minimum of 2 off-street parking spaces for each unit. 35% of the property must be in open space. Dark sky lighting is required, and I know you're familiar with all these. Trees are required in each yard. There's a 25-foot landscape buffer required along the entirety of the property boundaries, except where it's not needed due to an existing wetland area which creates a large buffer, or where there is a fence along the perimeter or a berm, where there's a berm. Sidewalks are required throughout the development. The use of bahia and Bermuda grass is permitted in place of St. Augustine. Under site access and signage, access is shown on the site plan along County Road 48, which, as previously noted, would be required to have all the applicable requirements for turn lanes, accel, decel lanes, etc. from Lake County. The main access point would be required to have a boulevard-type roadway. Melissa, could you scroll up to the site plan, please, at the end of the PUD while we're talking about it? The main access would be required to have a boulevard-type roadway which has a landscape median of at least 8 feet in between the lanes, which are wider than a standard lane. That gives enough lane area to allow emergency vehicles to maneuver. The signage would consist of a decorative entry feature of concrete, brick, or stucco wall at least 5 feet in height on each side of the entryway, or it can be one sign within the median landscape entrance. There is interconnectivity with the adjacent subdivisions. This proposal is very close to other proposed subdivisions that are already zoned. Under recreation, those requirements are being met via provision of at least 4.18 acres specifically assigned to recreation uses, have a pool, cabana, children's playground, dog park. There's also a walking and nature trail designed to blend into the neighborhood and through the wetland areas. Under utilities, all the development must be on city water and wastewater, so there'll be no wells or septics on the property. Finally, there is a phasing or expiration clause, which I know you're familiar with, which requires that development move forward with substantial commencement within 4 years, or the property has an automatic reversion to the standards of the RE1 zoning district. And if you'll recall, the RE1 zoning district has a requirement of 1 acre per unit. So you have to have a full acre to put 1 unit on it. At this time, I'd like to go ahead and read the recommendations for these 2 cases. For the project Oak Ridge, under the large-scale comp plan case, LSCP 25-547, the Planning and Zoning Department is recommending approval of the request for the following reasons. 1, the project meets the requirements of Chapter 163.3184 Florida statutes for large-scale comprehensive plan amendments. 2, the proposed request is compatible with the adjacent future land use designation of Lake County Rural, City Neighborhood Mixed Use, Estate Residential, and Age-Restricted Development. 3, the proposed request as conditioned is compatible with the proposed zoning of PUD, which is Planned Unit Development. 4, the proposed future land use designation for the site is consistent with the city's growth management plan, future land use element goal 1, objective 1.6. The action requested is vote to approve the large-scale comprehensive plan amendment from Lake County Rural to City Estate Residential and forward the recommendation to the City Commission for their consideration. The second recommendation for the zoning case, which is project called Oak Ridge, case number PUD 25-548, Planning and Zoning Department is recommending approval of the request for the following reasons. 1, the proposed request for a PUD plan unit development zoning is compatible with the current surrounding zoning districts, including Lake County A, which is agriculture, City PUD plan unit development, and ARD, which is age-restricted developments also in the city. 2, the proposed zoning is compatible with the proposed future land use designation amendment to City Estate Residential and the current surrounding future land use designations. 3, the site is compatible with the existing City of Leesburg approved developments directly north and south of the subject property. 4, the proposed request does not appear to create a detriment to surrounding properties as conditioned in the PUD document. Therefore, the action requested is 1, vote to approve the proposed rezoning from Lake County A agriculture to City PUD and forward this recommendation to the City Commission for their consideration. Staff is recommending approval on both cases, Mr. Chairman. In addition, Mr. Logan Opsel of Lowndes, Drostick, Doster, Cantor, and Reed of Orlando is here to represent the case and answer any questions you may have, and staff will also answer any questions you may have, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Would the applicant like to come forward? State your name and address, please.
Good evening, Logan Opsal, 215 North Eola Drive. Great to be with the commission. Thank you for your time and service. Thank you to Dan and Max for the presentations as well. I have the clicker up here. I'm going to be brief in my presentation, and then we can talk about the site plan. I have representatives from the applicant team here with me to answer any specific questions you have. If you would go to my presentation slides, and Max was kind enough to share many of these maps, but I did want to go through. I guess it's in PDF. I can't use this, can I? Okay, give it a shot. That works. Again, a lot of these are repeat slides, but perhaps offer some additional information and color. So as we go through the area, and here's some surrounding densities. So you have the Huntington Oaks to the north at about 3.7 units an acre, as well as Blake's Ridge at 2.9, Zellwood at 2.9. So just to give you a sense of what's out there from a compatibility perspective as it relates to density. Being proposed on Oak Ridge, when you look across the entire 596 acres, equates to just over 1.5 units an acre. Utilizing the Lake County future land use map, showing the existing agricultural area, and we'll talk about the existing uses and its past, as well as some commercial, and of course, estate residential. Same view for zoning for your benefit. I'll note here too, the yellow's the PUD. So it has an agricultural historical use. You can actually see from the image before you, there was some sod stripping, and so you see some of the scraping and stripes there. It also had some cattle, again, historic uses of the site. This is actually a previous plan. What I want to do is go through a couple of these slides. This is what was presented at our community meeting. In substance, it's similar to the final site plan in the PUD. However, in working with staff and some of the specific comments we heard at the community meeting, we made some tweaks to that to accommodate those specifics. Dan outlined outlined the single family versus the villas. Again, for your benefit, that equates to 50-foot lots at 559 units, 60-foot wide lots, 46 units, and 70-foot lots at 37. And the addition of the 60s and 70s was included as part of our cooperation with staff and those discussions. Heavily amenitized, I think what you get from these earlier plans is how much of the open space is being preserved. Wetlands in certain areas are actually being created, and of course we'll have natural vegetation throughout, as Dan outlined. Multi-use trail, nature trail, neighborhood parks, and a fully amenitized activity center for a pool. Talking a little bit about those open space elements, we had heard in the PUD that some of the performance standards include the standard 35% minimum. Our proposed plan doubles that to about 70% open space. Max outlined some of the wetlands on the property, so the unique shape of this development is designed towards enhancement of preserving those wetlands, and again, in certain cases, creating some new ones. The native landscaping assists with the improved water quality and proposing the appropriate buffer and buffering from the development and the natural wetlands. Also, of course, we'll have stormwater treatment. All of that will be fully engineered in working with your staff and the city's code. And again, we talked about the amenities, most importantly, the nature trail. Some of that's being shown here, and I will go through this at the end of my presentation, but one of the specific comments we heard was part of the nature trail was turning east, and certain residents on Clear Lake there didn't want to have their view shed in case there was hikers or people enjoying the nature trail. So you'll see in the finalized plan that's been trimmed back to accommodate that. That's all I have on my end. If you wouldn't mind going back to the final site plan just for everyone's benefit. I'm not sure if we're able to, are we able to turn it before we put it back into, because north is actually on your right, so it might help a little bit. Okay, well, just so we're aware, this is the same site. This is the finalized plan. North is on the right side of the screen, so you can look at that correctly. But thank you for your time, and again, we have myself and representatives from the applicant team to handle any specific questions you have. Thank you.
Any question of the commission?
I got a question for Dan, if you don't mind. Water consumption, has this been addressed thoroughly by the city of Leesburg?
Yes, sir, it has been reviewed by the Public Works Department,
Yeah.
and they did not blink. So
Okay.
that is evidence of current capacity. The thing about capacity is that it's good today. If other developments come in and take it up, it's gone. We do not reserve capacity.
Right.
So that's the answer to that question, yes, sir.
But wastewater is not a
Wastewater
problem.
is same situation.
Okay. Because we are growing, as we've heard. And 48 impact?
There is a traffic study required of every zoning, and that one has been done. And Mr. Opsahl might be better
Thank you
able to
for letting
speak
me.
to that, but my understanding is it did not degrade the level of service. And we have to keep in mind when we're talking about degrading a level of service, roadways, infrastructure, water sewer lines are graded on an A, B, C, D type scale, with A, of course, being the best. And if you're not taking it down from your required level of service, whatever that is, a D, a C, a B, an A, whatever, if you're not knocking it down to the lower level of service, then there's no action required. It's the development that takes it from a C to a D or a D to an F. That's where you, or D to E, where you have to make significant infrastructure investments. I am sure that Lake County will require, as they do, and as you have seen many times, widening of lanes, turn lanes, and so forth, if this project goes all the way through and is approved by the city commission as well.
It's a huge project. Mr. Brenner, did anyone sign up from the public? Okay. Any more questions or comments for the applicant?
Looking at the site plan, you got almost 600 acres, and I believe this gentleman quoted about 1.5 houses per acre. But in reality, it's 1.5 acres on the whole 600-acre site. Is that correct?
That is correct. The city of Leesburg uses gross density measurements. Getting into the net densities can be defined by people in many, many different ways. Everything from let's take out the wetlands to let's just take out the flood zone to, and we're trying to keep it as simple and comparable from project to project. But yes, that is correct. What you're saying, Mr. Simeon, the overall density is 1.52, 1.53. It's
5.4,
okay, yeah, it's right at 1.5. And the complexity of getting into different density level definitions between net and gross is makes the water murkier and becomes like quicksand because no one ever agrees. So what we have done as a city has been very consistent in terms of lot sizes throughout developments and densities throughout developments when they're comparable. But if it's not comparable directly, such as in this case, then we've kept the lot sizes roughly the same. So when you're seeing one neighborhood, you're seeing something similar in another.
Okay. In taking into consideration the wetlands,
Yes, sir.
the marsh, the water, I personally feel this is overpopulated,
Okay.
dense, very dense, as far as where the houses are, looking at the plans. It's too congested.
Okay.
I'll just stand so down to get back up. But yeah, I'll just tag on to what Dan said. That is correct. It's based on density across the totality of the site, and that's why you see the way the roads and the units are placed to be clustered in those upland areas and avoid being in the wetlands. And that's also why we're able to have some additional open space, again, about 70%. But yes, across the whole site.
Yeah, well, that open space really is just marsh and wetlands, mosquitoes.
And a beautiful
This
nature
is
trail to
Florida.
enjoy it.
And, you know, look, again, I'm looking at this site plan here, and everybody's backyard is backing up to this marsh and wetland. It's just too clustered. Sorry, that's it.
Thank you for your comment. And yes, that's actually the market's kind of recognizing that as an amenity. I live by a wetland myself, but I'm a Florida man, so I like that. Absolutely.
Thanks.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Brian Skidmore, Ardura Group, Tampa, Florida, 4921 Memorial Highway, for the applicant. To your comments, sir, the open space amenities and the concern about density in the upland portions of the project, we've actually considered that in the outline of the design. And while you don't see it necessarily at the scale, the standard buffers that are required by the state, by the Water Management District, are 25 feet. We're providing expanded buffers and are actually going to plant those buffers where in current condition, their pasture and sod farm, basically no or negligible habitat value. We're not only expanding those, but we're enhancing those buffers with native vegetation, and we're creating filter strips behind the lots, plantings of both ground cover and trees, and expanded wetlands beyond the existing wetlands to essentially buffer the wetland from the development and vice versa, and provide expanded habitat. That's occurring throughout the development. We've actually got about 20 acres of new wetlands and probably double that of expanded and planted buffers.
All right, what is the approximate space between the houses on the 50-foot lots or 70-foot lots?
I'm going to defer that to somebody
house
else
to
who's
house?
familiar with the lot spacing.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, it's the standard 5 feet on each side to give you 10 feet.
Shake hands with your neighbor.
Just curious and I know this is a down the road question or answer possibly, but what market are you after?
First time, entry level houses.
Please.
Brian Dalrymple, 3140 Orleans Way, Apopka, Florida. These will be some entry level houses, some first time move up buyer houses will move to the larger lots, and in some cases it'll be what we call a second time move up buyer, folks that are leaving maybe a house where they started a family and their family's getting bigger. And, again, the way this subdivision's laid out, there's a lot of space for the families to roam around, to enjoy the nature, enjoy the open spaces that we've kept in place. And as Brian Skidmore, our environmental consultant, said, enhance those places as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I got something. Madam Chairman, thank you.
Yes.
I think y'all already know what I'm gonna say. I say it every time, and hopefully everybody will get the message. When you aim to bring that many people, especially families, and we look at amenities, and this is not just for you, but it's for period. When you come to Lake County, Leesburg, think also about education. And I know, Dan, you did mention the schools about this,
Yes,
but
ma'am.
not always on our school board, but even part of your amenities to say we have space for a childcare center, we're looking for something like that. You're gonna bring children to the area, so we're gonna burden the area. So just as important as there is stormwater, road, children, if you are seeking to house them, we need to seek to educate them. So always, if you want to pull, I'd rather see a community-oriented childcare center versus a pool. And I think the community echoes that, because we just can't, I love the space, I'm fine with that, but I just want builders, and I'm gonna scream it from the rooftops, just consider that within your plans. Just space for kids to be housed, entertained purposely. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Is there any more questions for the applicant? If not, we'll close that portion up to the public and have a discussion among the commissioners, in the further discussion of commissioners.
I don't know if anybody from the public wanted to ask anything.
I think you had that.
I actually did.
Yeah,
Wow, it's a lot of
I
people.
don't. Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah. So, any further discussion from the commissioners?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
I think Ken and I are on the same track here. It's another development with roads that are inferior. It has not been addressed. It hasn't been solved. It's an ongoing problem. 48, 33, continuous issues. I would not be in favor of it.
Any more comments from any commissioners? If not, I close it and entertain a motion.
I want to make a motion to approve this, what is this? Are we doing these together?
We're doing them separately.
Separately? So this would be, oh Lord, I done lost it. Is this LSCP 25547?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, oh, I motion to approve. I thought that's what I said at first, my bad. Motion to approve. Uh-oh, I guess it's gonna die.
If you don't have a second.
You gotta call for a second? Nobody want a second?
Can I get a second? If not, the motion dies.
Go ahead, John.
So now I have to make, don't we have to make a counter motion to?
You can raise another motion,
Yes.
but that one has failed.
Right.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, for case number LSCP 25547, large scale comprehensive plan amendment, I vote to deny.
I'll second that motion, Mr. Chairman.
It's been motioned, properly second. Could we get a roll call?
Commissioner Kaplan,
Yes. This is
Commissioner O'Kelly,
Yes.
Commissioner Sanders,
No.
Commissioner Simeoni,
This is to deny?
yes.
Yes is to deny.
Yes.
I'm for it, so I'm saying no to the denial.
Yes.
Yeah.
Commissioner Bowersox,
Yes.
Commissioner Marshall,
Yes.
Commissioner Carter.
No.
Okay. We'll move over.
Did they ask you?
Thank you,
I
ma'am.
don't think Commissioner O'Kelly was asked.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you was.
My answer is yes.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Okay. If there's no further discussion on public hearing case number 25548, I entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move to deny.
Mr. Chairman, I'd second that motion.
It's been motioned and properly second. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Kelly,
Yes.
Commissioner Sanders,
No.
Commissioner Simeoni,
Yes.
Commissioner Bowersox,
Yes.
Commissioner Marshall,
Yes.
Commissioner Carter,
No.
Commissioner Kaplan.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay. Are there any announcements, remarks, comment? Mr. Miller?
I would like to thank my staff for the hard work they've done over the last couple of months during some health challenges I had, and thank this commission for the hard work that you do. Thank you, sir, and ma'am.
Yes, and
And I've already told everybody about my 9th great-grandchild, so I'm not going to mention any more of that.
and we're glad you're doing well too, Mr. Miller.
Thank you, sir.
That is a true love blessing.
It is, thank you,
Yes.
sir.
If there's no further discussion, meeting's adjourned.